Hello and welcome. Today we are in the tier 10 Soviet battleship Slava. We're playing on the map Atlantic, and as you can see it is a standard battle instead of domination mode, etc. Which means that this game is probably going to be somewhat more passive than what you might be used to. But because I am a Slava, my plan is to stay far away and try to get the broadsides of the enemy, although hopefully with slightly better aim than this one. I aimed slightly too high, especially when you consider that the Ohio turned in slightly, and because of that, well, I did basically no damage. And now there's a giant rock in the way. This is not cool. Let's wait a little bit for the rock to go away, or rather the Ohio to position slightly better. Anyway, as a Slava, one of the things I really like doing is I like going into the spots that my allies were at before, also I still aim too high, in that when my ally is heading towards my position from the middle, well, I will go towards the middle myself. That way we will maintain a crossfire later on in the fight. However, that's not quite possible this time because, as you can tell, the only battleships that spawned over here is me and the Odin. Sadly, Odin is not exactly a ship you can properly set up a crossfire with because, well, she isn't really that scary for many battleships, okay? And you have to also consider the fact that we're fighting against an Ohio, a Stalingrad, and a Jean Bart, and a Sovietsky Soyuz. We are definitely outclassed on this side and should probably be doing a defensive fight, which is what I'm planning on doing. I'm planning on turning to the right and then kiting away. I don't think I need to worry too much about showing side to the JB. I mean, it's possible she might get lucky with a salvo, but chances are I'm gonna be able to turn before that matters at all. The worry is rather the Stalingrad. I'm not sure if she has enough pen, but definitely the Ohio. But since I'm already committed to the turn, it's too late to change anything about it. But we absolutely need to be able to make this turn, because if we don't, we're gonna go down very quickly. Very quickly here. Because once that Ohio gets within secondary range, you add on the JB spam and Stalingrad and Soyuz, there's nothing I could do, and if I couldn't run away at that point, I'd be dead. Therefore, I think that risk was necessary. But as we kite away, we're obviously gonna try to deal as much damage as possible. They are pushing in, so the Odin might end up being very useful, since Odin is excellent at fighting close range, due to the fact that she has great secondaries and torpedoes. Which probably does mean that they're not actually going to move that close range in. I don't think that JB is gonna push unless the Odin has taken significant amounts of damage already. Or somebody else is in a position to, I don't know, somehow block her from fighting properly. Regardless though, I do need to put distance between me and the enemy. It's not that it matters that much, it's mostly about how much I have to aim. You see, other battleships get more accurate quicker than Slava does. So imagine Slava has great accuracy at range, you would imagine that it would be absolutely insane at close range. But that's not true. While other battleships are significantly less accurate than Slava at range, at closer ranges they can be about the same accuracy or even better accuracy than Slava. That's something to consider as well, so it doesn't really make sense for Slava to close the distance in most situations. You kinda want her to be far away. Ooh, Stalingrad showing broadside. Oh yes, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, she stopped showing broadside. Damn it. I was hoping she would keep turning, but I think the shells were still too high for that. It's kind of hard to predict, you know, when a ship is turning away, but is sailing closer slightly when you're trying to hit the crest part, how far you have to aim, and on Slava you kind of have to get it right, otherwise the shells go too high, because as you can see, the vertical dispersion on the ship is incredibly good. Or I guess you could consider it bad, because it's super accurate, but you just have to aim, but if you aim well, they're gonna hit many of those shells. Although, I suppose it's also possible that you might aim slightly off and then you only get over penetrations. Regardless, my team on the eastern side is pushing again. I'm feeling a little sense of deja vu this time, but the match isn't going nearly as well as it was back then. Here we... Oh, Bismarck is coming over here. That's actually good. We kinda do need to support, since, well, the enemy here has more ships to fight with. Well, battleships in particular. Right now there aren't actually any good targets. I mean, everything's far away and also slightly angled, which makes... There are no good targets at the moment, but then again, you don't always have good targets. I am gonna keep sailing away though, because I need the distance between me and the enemy. I think it's better if other ships end up tanking first. Because I've already done my tanking, I think. 1.7 million potential damage. I'm waiting for them to show sign, but that's the situation there isn't getting any better. Oh, maybe I should have shot the Minotaur instead. I'm gonna start turning my turrets for that. Come on, Minotaur, where are you? Okay, I guess she's being shy right now, so we'll have to pick someone else. Stalingrad, please don't... Please just obediently take the citadels this time. We need to start dealing damage. Although, both sides have lost 3 ships and we're ahead in points, so it's not that big of a problem. Sadly though, Stalingrad turned in slightly, so the shells went over the ship. Oh, maybe that Sovietsky Soyuz will be happy to oblige. Oh, there's actually a Holland there too. But right now my guns are pointed here and it will take some time to turn them around. So I'm gonna take the shot on the broadside Soyuz instead. And the Citadel! Finally some No, this is basically only the Citadel worth of damage. Anyway, more distance, because they actually have 2 destroyers over there. A Holland and an Udaloi. But hopefully we'll have some success. Oh, she's turning in. That's difficult, because if you've noticed, Slava's shells do tend to spread out horizontally. Oh, never mind. Bismarck and Slava finished the Holland off. Good. Now they only have an Udaloi left as a destroyer. And sadly, our destroyers are all dead, which is really unfortunate. We really would like some destroyers right now. Anyway, you might have noticed that we're ahead in points, right? That's because the ships we have lost are worth less points than the ships the enemy has lost. But eventually, that tends to equalize. The only things that can throw cap points off balance are when somebody enters the other team's cap zones, or when, well, there's a ship imbalance, or when the matchmaker just didn't balance things out. So right now, we might be 90 points apart, but once we sink the Soyuz, we'll be only 10 points apart. But as you can tell, they've lost 2 cruisers and 2 destroyers. We've lost 3 destroyers and 1 cruiser. So they've lost ships worth more points. And that's why we're ahead by 10 points right now. Anyway, we're kind of even in terms of ships. And Udala isn't exactly an amazing destroyer to do destroyery things. So if we just fight over here, we should be okay. Wow, that one felt... I don't know how I aimed that one. That one felt incredibly short. Oh, a Thunderer. Broadside even. Oh, she's turning in. Dang it. That's not good. Anyway, right now our biggest problem is the fact that our Odin and Azuma aren't fighting, right? The ships that are fighting here are the Soyuz, the Kremlin, and me. Well, maybe the Yoshino too. Well, probably the Yoshino too. chances are that the Azuma and the Odin aren't really fighting. At least not fighting as effectively as they could. Whereas on the enemy team, it's basically only the Odin that isn't fighting. Maybe the Dmitry Donskoy as well. And I think they have a stronger fighting force active right... Wow, 33k. Nice. Kinda wish I had fired at the Ohio though. Because right now, some damage would be quite useful. Because if we could have finished her off at that point, she might not have gotten off the next salvo. Anyway, I'm gonna try to go to where the Soyuz is. Because if the Kremlin's pushing in the middle, well, we still want some crossfire. Okay, Ohio's gone. Excellent. Nobody oh! That... Dmitry Donskoy is showing broadside. Oh, Kremlin's gone. That's bad. Because now the battleships are both in one position, so there is no crossfire. Also, the enemy is probably... Oh! Hello, devastating strike! Well, we're ahead though, so it's probably okay, right? It's 5 ships against 4, although the fact that we have 3 ships that aren't fighting right now is probably not good. You can see the Yoshino, Odin and Azuma, there's no chance they're fighting right now. Like, the only ship they might be fighting is the Udaloy. And that's might be fighting, because, you know, I don't know what's going on there. Basically, the situation, we might have more ships, but they have more no, they're not actually even fighting the Udaloy. I don't know what they're doing back there. But basically we're fighting more or less a 2 versus, well, 3. Because our Odin, Azuma and Yoshino are so far away. Anyway, let's try to, maybe we can deal with the Udaloy so we don't have to worry about the destroyer later on. Wow, 5 shells from this range. This means the Udaloy didn't really dodge. Because, you know, you saw some of the dodging earlier by ships and how I got overpens and whatnot. But the destroyer is much smaller, so dodging should have made her easily able to dodge. Or not take any damage. Jesus, why are words so hard? Anyway, let's try. Maybe we can get lucky again on the second salvo. Because it would be nice if we could take out the Udaloy, then we don't have to worry about any torpedo threat. Aw, only 1 overpen. I mean, I'll take it, I suppose. I do need to keep reversing here and get behind the island. As, well, that's a Stalingrad and a Thunderer and potentially a Vladivostok that are going to engage me. The Odin is going in now, which I think is a terrible idea. Also, somehow we are 5 points behind. I don't know how that happened. How are we 5 points behind? Well, I guess they've lost a different number of ships, or different amount of points worth of ships. I'm gonna need to reverse a little bit more. Maybe we can punish this Vladivostok here, like we did on the Dmitry Donskoy. Oh, she's actually slowing down, it appears. I'm gonna aim slightly ahead, because I think she's gonna accelerate. Odin has now decided to turn around by showing broadside to the enemy. Oh, 2 citadels! 30k, come on! Somebody else take her out, please? Because if we could make that happen, that would be grand. But I think our Odin's dead. I don't know why he pushed now. He could have pushed earlier. Also, the Udaloy is heading in my direction, which is not great. Because at close range, I'm pretty sure the destroyer is gonna be able to sink me. All she needs to do is get out from behind the island, drop her torps, and chances are I'm dead. Losing the Odin here is terrible though, because we don't have... there isn't enough time, and we really can't risk these kinds of things. Kinda need to be able to deal with the Vladivostok, but I also need to keep reversing because the Udaloy is coming, which means that if she appears suddenly, I need to be moving. I cannot be standing still, and if I'm moving forward and the Udaloy doesn't appear but waits behind the island, I'm just gonna run into her. So the only choice, in my opinion, is to reverse, which I'm going to do. Also, I would like to point out that the Azuma and the Yoshino probably still aren't actively engaging everything. But hey, maybe we can take out this Vladivostok. Come on. Come on. Oh. Yeah. That's... Yeah, that could have been a lot better. We're 105 points behind. So we probably need to sink... Oh my god, no, Udaloi. No, Udaloi. I need to accelerate right now to dodge torps. She'll expect that I'm reversing, but I'm suddenly gonna go forward. And I have the propulsion upgrade, so my acceleration from a standstill is much faster. Come on. Turn in also to dodge the torpedoes that have probably already been... Oh, there they are. Damage control party is available. I'm pressing it immediately. Excellent! Oh, and we sunk her with the secondaries. Okay, so we got her, but Vladivostok is still alive though, and we're still... now we're 115 points behind, by the way. We still need to sink 2 ships, right? Which is horrible. So I'm gonna just take the risk and I'm gonna push out and try to ram the Stalingrad. Maybe when I do that, I can maybe get a shot on the Vladivostok. I expect the Thunderer is gonna try to chase the Yoshino or something like that. I mean, I don't really know what else to do. There's only 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. There's the Stalingrad. There's no point in firing at her because I'm not gonna deal any damage. Like, I could hit the upper belt, but... Or upper bow. Oh god, Thunderer is there. That's not good. Maybe I could have gotten lucky there with the... salvo, but I didn't want to risk it. I'm gonna try to take a shot on the Vladivostok. But even if I sink the Vladivostok and ram the Stalingrad, it's still not gonna work though, right? Because then it's gonna be Thunderer versus Yoshino, and Thunderer is worth more points, which means that the enemy is going to be ahead in points. So we need to actually... Yeah, there's no way to win at this point, I think. Also, I didn't actually sink the Vladivostok, so... I tried to get another salvo off, and then maybe hit the Stalingrad on the side, but I don't know if that's even possible now. Yeah, that isn't possible, and Thunder actually stopped, so... Yeah, the ram didn't work. Maybe we can get lucky with the guns. Nope, the guns can't depress enough. That's sad. Depressing even, isn't it? Which means that this didn't work, but even if I had somehow gotten the Stalingrad here, they still would be winning by points, because that Yoshino is so far away to do anything, and there's only 50 seconds to go. I didn't see a winning move there. Because even if I ram the Stalingrad, sure, my damage numbers go up, but that doesn't matter. I would have liked to win the game instead. But sadly, that wasn't quite up for it. Yeah, not great. I don't know what this Yoshino is thinking. Like, he's not doing anything. Like, I don't know what he was thinking. Okay, I rammed the Stalingrad. Great. But this actually gives the enemy more points. Because I'm a battleship and Stalingrad's a cruiser. Cruisers are worth fewer points than battleships. So, we would come out the loser on that kind of a trade. Well, I wouldn't, because I would get more damage, but still. This, yeah, I don't know what I was supposed to do. So, some of you might not know, but when I do the recordings, I also see what I did, right? And I can learn from mistakes I make. But I'm not really sure what I could have done differently here to try to turn this. I don't know. Do you guys have any ideas? Also, I still did 229k damage. I got 1441 base XP on the loss. This would literally put me... Okay, it would put me at number 5. 2 XP from number 4. So I don't know. 2.8 million potential damage in Slava, a ship that isn't even supposed to tank that much. I don't know. I really don't know. Oh well. Wow, that Stalingrad fired quite many shells at me. By the way, that Stalingrad is the same Stalingrad that I fought at the start of the match on the western side of the map. That guy did quite well, if you think about it. Oh well, you can't win them all. Let's take a look at the commander skills and upgrades. So I went with essentially this build, which is priority target, Adrenaline Rush, Superintendent, Concealment Expert, Fire Prevention, Basics of Survivability, and Expert Marksman. One build that's kind of liked on this ship, or this captain, is to drop Basics of Survivability and you take Jack of all trades and Preventative Maintenance, or Jack of all trades and Expert Loader instead. But I really like the propulsion mod on the Slava, so as you saw in this match, it was quite useful against that destroyer. Because of that, I've decided to take Basics of Survivability and take propulsion mod. Obviously, upgrades wise, we have the main battery reload, the concealment upgrade, then propulsion. If you don't like this, well, you can always go with damage control and then just drop Basics of Survivability. Then obviously aiming systems modification 1, damage control system modification 1, and main armaments modification 1. And this, in my opinion, makes Slava a very powerful ship. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.